Hello, my name is Liz. This is my presentation, Developing Effective Teachers, Lessons from the Canadian Education System. While doing my interview and research, I was examining how teachers are prepared in Canada and how this preparation affects the classroom and the teacher's experience. The focus areas were university and teachers college, professional development and mentorships, and the qualities of effective teachers. First, I'd like to introduce my participant. The characteristics of my participant. She's a female, she's 50 years old, she's married with one kid, and she's middle class. Her education background, she has an undergraduate degree and she went to teachers college. She's teaching middle school at the grade 6 to 8 level, and she is in the Ontario public school system in Georgetown, Ontario. My participant studied history at McMaster University and went to Teachers College at Brock University. One difference from Canada and the US is in Canada, when students are studying to become teachers, they have to first get their bachelor's in whatever subject. My participant chose history. And then you have to go to teachers college, which takes 2 years after the 4 to 5 years that you are studying to get your bachelor's. And while you're in teachers college, this is basically a placement and study time on how to become a teacher, very similar to Tech Teach. My participant, when she was going through teachers college, she said it was different now from how it was when she did it. When she did it, she was in one classroom for 3 weeks, and then she was in another classroom for 1.5 months, and then another one for 2 months through her 2-year time in teachers college. It first started with just observation. So she was just shadowing. She wasn't talking, she wasn't teaching the classroom. And then she went on to 25% teaching, so she would help a little more, she would teach some stuff, and then she went to 50 and 100% as she went on. And the whole time she has her mentor teacher, or as she called it, her associates teacher, to support her while she did it. And like I said before, her focus was middle school. Now the summary. The first theme that I noticed in my interview was structure and preparedness. In teachers college, future teachers are taught the importance of having well-planned lessons and strong classroom structure. They learn to set clear expectation and timelines, which helps them maintain authority in the classroom. Teacher education programs also emphasize hands-on teaching experiences through the practicum placement. My participant explained this clearly when she said, "Be prepared and structure, structure, structure. The kids will walk all over you if you're not." She shared that this was something constantly reinforced during teachers college. In Canada, each province has its own standardized curriculum, and while the curriculum is developed provincially, they are quite similar all around the country because they all aim to meet the nation's educational goals. The second theme that I noticed in my interview was the supporting of diverse learners. Teachers College in Canada includes training on how to support students with a wide range of needs, including learning differences, multilingual backgrounds, and the varied social economic situations. Future teachers learn how to write IEPs, differentiate instruction, and adapt lessons to meet individual students' needs. They are also encouraged to understand students' home lives and personal challenges so they can create a safe and supportive learning environment. My participant also explained that when she first started teaching, there was almost nothing in the curriculum about residential schools or Indigenous history. She highlighted that only in the last 10 years has Canada begun to integrate this content into the curriculum. Speaking from my own experience, growing up in Canada, I saw this shift as well as the curriculum now addressing the harm caused by the Canadian government and teaches students the truth about this part of our history. This change reflects Canada's effort to acknowledge its past and build a more inclusive education system. The third theme I saw during my interview was professional development. In Canada, the development of teachers goes far beyond the initial certification. One of the key supports for new educators is the mentorship program during Teachers College. These programs pair new teachers with experienced teachers who guide them through challenges of the classroom, provide advice, feedback, and practical strategies to succeed. Professional development, or PD, is another essential component. Teachers have access to ongoing learning through PA days, voluntary courses, and specialized programs that were designed to enhance their skills and knowledge. This ensures that educators can stay up to date with new teaching methods, curriculum changes, and ways to support diverse learners. A critical factor in a teacher's growth is the role of the principal. Supportive schools leaders can make a significant difference in how confident and effective teachers feel. As my participant put it, it depends on your principal. Supportive principals make all the difference. This highlights how mentorships, PD, and strong leadership together fosters a positive, effective learning environment for both the teachers and the students. Now I'll be talking about my research. Research shows that new teachers build the strongest sense of self-efficacy for inclusive education when their programs combine coursework with real hands-on practice. It isn't enough just to learn the theories in the classroom. Future teachers grow the most when they can apply what they've learned directly with students. Another key factor is collaboration. Working alongside experienced teachers, observing strategies, and contributing to team planning has a powerful impact. When new teachers feel like an active participant rather than a passive learner, their confidence in supporting diverse learners increases significantly. Overall, the combination of theory, real classroom practice, and collaborative learning helps future teachers feel more prepared, more capable, and more confident in creating an inclusive classroom. Lastly, here's my opinion. I found several parts of this interview interesting because I found clear similarities between the Canadian education system and the American education system. In Canada, there is a firm, intentional structure in place for preparing teachers. From what I know about Tech Teach and the education program at Texas Tech, there aren't major changes I feel need to be made. In fact, there are many similarities in how both programs are organized. However, the biggest difference I noticed is the structure of the teacher preparation in Canada. In the Canadian system, students complete their bachelor's degrees first, and then they enter Teachers College, where the sole focus is developing teaching skills. And during this time, the emphasis is entirely on teaching, hands-on learning, and building classroom readiness. This allows more time to break down the small details that contribute to becoming a more effective teacher. Tech Teach has a very strong program as well. And in many ways, it mirrors this approach. But the main difference is the timeline. In the US, students often have to cram their major requirements and basically complete their major in the first 2 years of their college career. And then they're completing their teaching courses and student teaching portions afterwards. The structure is similar, but it is condensed into a shorter period of time. While this can still produce great teachers, it may create more pressure and a more fast-paced, high-stress environment compared to the extended preparation offered in the Canadian Teachers College. Not saying either one is worse or better. They are both effective in many of the same ways. I just noticed that one is shorter and more condensed, versus the other one is longer and more spread out. And that's my opinion. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed and have a great winter break.